And this is an issue, isn't it, for retailers, but it's not something they can avoid, surely, I assume.
It's a huge part of retail. It's tens of billions in the UK, hundreds of billions globally. I think because it's something that's quite hidden from us as consumers, we don't realise the scales of just how big it is. And it's something retailers just can't take passively anymore. So we're seeing a lot more change here, whether it comes to actually return fees for us as consumers to pay, right through to organisations that are getting involved with the infrastructure to try and swap some of the returns to exchanges or get more sophisticated and smart tech in place to give us more information at the outset so it might limit it. There was predictions that there would be maybe slightly less returns in the UK this year, but what I've seen so far from other figures is that actually I think it will be just as big, if not higher. And we're seeing that period of returns, not just peak after Christmas, but sort of start from Black Friday onwards.
But as shoppers, our behaviour has changed, hasn't it, in that we expect to be able to return, and in most cases we expect to do that for free.
Significantly so. We have been taught this behaviour by the retailers. They have given us almost this carte blanche, if you like, in terms of encouraging us to buy more and buy without concern, particularly when it comes to online. And therefore, it's a trained behaviour we've learned. If retailers need to retrain, which they do massively, this is a huge cost. And of course, the sustainability element, which is so worrying when you think about how much of that product doesn't actually get back into the retail cycle, then we're going to have to learn new ways and methods as consumers. But some of the things we're hearing about from brands and what they might be contemplating and bringing into play could mean that we feel more punished as consumers than rewarded. And I think this is going to be a huge impact. So there's a UK brand, ASOS, which is very fast fashion in the main, and they're bringing in new policies in this month, which show that they're actually tracking consumers and their behaviours, and that you might actually not have the ability to buy anymore if you're seen as a serial returner. So it's all this interesting evolvement of how they retrain us as customers.
And just briefly, Kate, overall, how has the Christmas season been for retailers? I was reading after Christmas, footfall on high streets was actually a lot higher, certainly in London, which is interesting.
It was, but a lot of people, I think, out for the experience. We certainly saw those big retail outlet parks, really busy car parks, and you saw the news stories of that being out the door. But I think it's a mixed bag for many retailers, and this returns, of course, will give them a real sight after Christmas of how much of the product's going to stay in home and how much of it's going to be refunded onto cards. All to play for, certainly in a very mixed retail marketplace.
Okay, Kate, thanks again for your time and your analysis. Kate Hardcastle there.